Hello and welcome to It's Free IP. I'm your host Felix Chaplin, brought back from my hiatus by the power of actually. Toward the end of 2023, I posted a response to a video made by The Odd Ones Out. Almost a year later, he made another video in the same general topic, and here I am again to give another nitpicky response. For those of you who are here for drama or are hoping to see The Odd Ones Out get smacked down, sorry to disappoint, but the purpose of this video is to educate, correct mistakes in the video I'm responding to, and to expand on the points he brought up with special emphasis on public domain works. Before getting into the meat and potatoes of this video, let's hear a word from our sponsor. Me. At the time I'm posting this, Christmas, Hanukkah, Kwanzaa, and Three Kings Day are all coming up. What better way is there to get into the holiday spirit than to give your loved ones the gift of free IP? Over on the It's Free IP Ko-fi shop, you can find a great selection of DVDs, each including a public domain song sing-along and a short companion film giving background info about the feature presentation. With Popeye the Sailor Man entering the public domain very soon, you can get some of his most iconic cartoons on DVD for only $2 plus shipping. That's not a special sale price, that's the price year-round. Go to the Ko-fi link in the description to start weaning yourself and your loved ones off of corporate-controlled media. Now, on with the video. Here is the exact moment I knew I had to make a response to this video.
Animators are still using the same techniques that were used on King Kong back in the 1920s.
The original King Kong was made in 1933, and will be entering the public domain in 2029. Can't wait for that. Anyway, here's another mistake he made.
They released the world's first fully animated feature film, Snow White.
Snow White is not the first feature-length animated film. That honor goes to the movie Creation from 1916. Since that film is lost, the oldest surviving feature-length animated film is The Adventures of Prince Ahmed from 1926. In this video titled Every Form of Animation, The Odd Ones Out forgot to mention the cutout animation that was used in The Adventures of Prince Ahmed. What makes this even more frustrating in my opinion is that he showed a brief clip from that movie around the 1 minute mark in the video, but he chose not to talk about it. There's another form of animation The Odd Ones Out forgot to mention, chalkboard animation. The oldest surviving American animated film, Humorous Faces of Funny Faces, was animated on a chalkboard back in 1906. This form of animation could also be done on a dry erase board, but I digress. This next point isn't exactly a mistake on his part.
I mean, just look at how these human characters are moving. 10 years before Snow White, animated humans looked like this. So going from this to this in only 10 years? How?
The phrasing here suggests that the rotoscope was invented closer to the time Snow White was created, but it was actually invented in 1915 by Max Fleischer, and was used in many Fleischer Studios cartoons before Disney even considered making the Snow White movie. Hell, The Odd Ones Out even included a clip from the Betty Boop Snow White cartoon as an example of rotoscoping, which was made 4 years before Disney's Snow White, and 1 year before The Goddess of Spring.
In 1934, Disney released a short called The Goddess of Spring, being their first attempt at animating a character with what was supposed to have real human anatomy. They still had a lot to learn, obviously.
Here's the last mistake I'd like to address.
And some Japanese animators took inspiration from Disney and made shorts that looked very similar to America's Rubber Hose characters.
Betty Boop isn't a Disney cartoon. He may not have specifically said that it was, but the words used in this clip could possibly confuse some viewers. Moving on from correcting The Odd Ones Out's mistakes, let's expound on some of the things he brought up, starting with stop motion. The first stop motion animated film was made in 1898 and was called Humpty Dumpty's Circus. That film is unfortunately lost, but don't worry, there are plenty of surviving stop motion animations in the public domain. For example, the Russian-Polish animator Władysław Starowicz made some short stop-motion animations in the 1910s using dead bugs as the characters. In this much simpler time, when stop-motion wasn't as ubiquitous as it is today, there were people who thought that Starowicz used trained insects to perform in his films. Circling back to feature-length animated films that used rotoscoping, Fleischer Studios made one in 1939 called Gulliver's Travels. Only 3 of the characters in the movie were actually rotoscoped, and it was nominated for an Oscar for Best Original Song, but it ended up losing to this. I also happen to be selling Gulliver's Travels on DVD. Wink wink nudge nudge. And that's all I got for you. The Odd Ones Out's video was good overall. I just like nitpicking and correcting other people's mistakes. Plus, seeing as he commented on my last response video, and he included more references to Charlie Chaplin in this video, I'd think he was intentionally trying to get me to respond to him if I didn't know any better. Did I miss anything or make mistakes of my own? Be sure to let me know in the comments. While you're down there, don't forget to like this video, share it with your friends, support this channel on Ko-fi if you have the means to do so, subscribe if you haven't already, and ring the notification bell so you won't miss what comes next from It's Free IP.